Demand management. Demand management is about knowing your customers' requirements. Let's see, there's a note here. Not too familiar with this note. Let me take a look. At a strategic level, demand management can involve analysis of patterns of business activity, which is also known as PBA, and user profiles. So, before I get ahead of myself. Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about it. Okay, so analysis of patterns of business activity, which we're going to talk about. And at a tactical level, it can involve use of differential charging to encourage customers to use IT services at less busy times, and is closely linked to capacity management. So, for instance, all that's saying is I'm Domino's Pizza. I don't sell as many pizzas on Tuesdays as I do on Sundays in the fall and winter months. So on Tuesdays, we are going to incentivize customers for buying pizza. So we may have a 2-for-1 deal where you can get, if you buy 2 pizzas, you get them for $5 each. Or if you buy a large pizza, we will throw in breadsticks for free. Or do something to get folks to buy more, increase their spending on Tuesdays so that we can increase our revenue. So it's all demand management, or this note here is speaking about. Oh, and lastly, it's closely linked to capacity management. So we haven't talked about capacity management yet, but if we do that on Tuesday and we start to see a spike in the number of pizzas that people are buying, we also have to make sure that we have the capacity to do that. So we need to make sure we have enough drivers to deliver the pizza. We need to make sure that we have enough ingredients to make all of the things on the menu that we need. We need to make sure that we have enough cashiers, enough people answering the phone to make their orders, et cetera, et cetera. Goals and objectives of demand management include understanding and influencing customer demands for services and providing the capacity to meet the demands. Those are the 2 goals of demand management. Objectives: to understand the customer's current requirements for services, the trend of requirements over a period or business cycle, match the customer's expectations with the organization's capabilities of providing services, and ensure warranty and utility are in alignment with the customer's need. Okay, so what does all of that mean? Let's get into it. Understanding demand management. So this is a cycle of explaining your pattern of business activity, right? So we have a business process and a service process and a demand pattern and a delivery schedule. So as your demand pattern, so one of the points of the pattern of business activity is that is drawn from details about the business. And so you look at things such as frequency, volume, location, duration, and you document all of those things so that you know the demand pattern. So for instance, Domino's Pizza has looked at their entire pattern of business activity down to the hour, I'm sure. So if they open at 11 and they close at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., they understand hourly what the pattern of their demand is going to be. They know also by the day of the week, right? More people may order on Fridays in the evening versus, Tuesday at lunch. And so they understand what that pattern of activity looks like. They also know what it looks like yearly, right? Annually. They know what it looks like during football season versus spring break. They know what it looks like regionally also. They know what it looks like in Idaho versus in Florida versus in New York City. So they keep a tight track on their pattern of business activity. And then as they deliver to that, they also refine all of their business process and their service processes. In addition to that, they work with their capacity or capacity management to make sure that as they incentivize and try to bring in more revenue, they have the capacity to do so, which is very, very, very important, because you can try to make adjustments to fill the gaps in your patterns of business of your demand, right? Your demand pattern. However, if you don't have the means to do that, not only is that service not going to be sustainable, it may take you all the way back. It may also negatively affect your positive revenues that you were receiving on Sundays during football season, or your lunchtime specials, because people may look at your service as unreliable overall. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very important to make sure that your demand management is lock and key with capacity management. So patterns of business activity overall is just about understanding what the demand is from your clients and then making those adjustments as necessary.
Makes sense.
Okay, key concepts in demand management. A core service. Let's see, core service versus supporting service. So a core service is an IT service that provides basic outcomes desired by one or more customers. It's a core service. They represent the value that the customer wants and what they're willing to pay. For example, a bank, a core service would be providing financial capital to small and medium enterprises, right? That would be a core service. Their loans that they provide to individuals, versus a supporting service, which enhances the core services. It's an added feature, which may not be desired, but is important to have. So if we're sticking with the bank example, a core service would be providing loans. A supporting service would be having online banking. So it's not something that is necessary to have, or the customers, everyone's not, screaming about, oh, we absolutely need to have this. But it's just an added feature, something that will sweeten the pot, something that will make providing that service a little bit easier. So a core service is the thing that the customer is willing to pay for, is it what they want, they're willing to pay for. Supporting or enhancing services are something that's important to have, that enables or helps the service be more fluid. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Patterns of business activity. We talked about this, but let's just go through it again. A workload profile of one or more business activities. Patterns of business activities are used to help the IT service provider understand and plan for different levels of business activity. So we talked about this with Domino's. They understand what their patterns of business activity are when people are coming to buy, when they are not, when we need more drivers on staff because delivery is going to be a little bit higher versus when takeout orders are higher, etc. So they understand all of that. PBA represents a change in pattern of customer demands as provided by the customer. PBA is important to track as it helps the organization identify improvements in existing services and identify future opportunities. And it will also help us understand changing business needs, which we've already talked about. What we have not talked about is a user profile. So a user profile is specific to a customer. It's a pattern of user demand for IT services. Each user profile includes one or more patterns of business activities. Users means people, or even processes or functions. It is usually associated with one or more PBA. So for example, if we're thinking about a an organization's portfolio, and we provide network engineering, we provide an IT service desk, we provide all of these different services. You could set up user profiles for each of your customers, especially if they use all the same types of services. It's important to do that within an organization so that you understand specifically what a customer wants, the demands of that particular customer, and you can measure that individual customer's patterns of business activity, which is not typically done within organizations, because they look at it and say, okay, well, we're providing network engineers for XYZ contract, so we're going to provide the same engineers to this other contract, without understanding, okay, does that, do they want the exact same thing at the exact same time? And if that's the case, then how do you keep up with that? Even with a matrix team, are you still going to be able to meet all your requirements? One customer may be more demanding than the other. One customer may have more deliverables than the other. One customer may want to have all their folks on site while the other customer doesn't. Or what if they both want all the employees on site at the same time? So then how do you keep up with that? So establishing a user profile for all of your customers is important, because it helps you better manage and understand their individual patterns of business activity.
Got it.
Okay, a service package. We already have service packages. Let's see. I'm sure we're going to talk about service packages again. We can briefly go over them now. Okay. A service package. A detailed description of an IT service that is available to be delivered to customers. A service package includes a service level package and one or more core services and supporting services. So a service package is your overarching service. And within that service package, you would have a service level package, and you would also identify your core services and your supporting services. It's not as difficult as it may sound on the slide. Your service level package, which is included in your service package, defines your utility and warranty. So this is how, when is it going to be available? How much capacity are we going to have? What is the performance going to look like, etc. And each service level package is designed to meet the needs of a particular pattern of business activity. So once again, if we understand, if we have IBM as a customer, and we are supporting IBM in some functionality, in some way or form or fashion, if we understand the patterns of business activity specifically for IBM, every year when we go to renew our contract, we can design our service package to specifically meet the demands of IBM. It won't be some generic, boilerplate, oh, here's what we provide, which may or may not be, attractive to IBM. But we can say, hey, based on the business that we've done with you, we understand your patterns of business activity, and therefore we've designed a service package specifically for IBM based on its user profile. So that's what the service package and service level package is. It's essentially providing a service that has been tailored or customized to meet a specific demand of a customer.
Got it.